Today's guest conversation is with one of the most highly regarded right-handed pitching prospects in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, Mr. Hayden Durke. Here's episode 97 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Hayden Durke, top of the afternoon to you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Just enjoying this cold weather out in Louisiana. So
Yeah, you said you're out in Abbeville, Louisiana, which you said about 10 minutes outside of Lafayette. I said Lafayette, right? I got a buddy there, Nick Selfo. Shout out to Nick Selfo. Did I say Lafayette right?
yeah, yeah.
So you're a Louisiana boy, man. Does it let me start with this. I introduce you, and do you ever stop to like kind of smell the roses? I introduced you as one of the most highly regarded right-handed pitching prospects in the Diamondbacks organization. You're coveted, man. I did my research on you. I know they're expecting some big things from you. Do you stop and smell the roses and be like, dang, this is where my life's at right now?
Yeah. So you have to do that. I feel like if you don't, then you get lost in worrying about things you can't control and not taking things for granted or just soaking all the little things in for sure. So
Yeah. Do you boy, and I mean we're sitting here on whatever it is, January 28th, whatever it is today. But we're sitting here, we're close, man. Pitchers and catchers report in like 2 weeks. Are you heading to big league camp this year? Tell me kind of where you're at in the process of getting ready for spring training, and tell me kind of what the outlook is for you for the spring, Hayden.
yeah. I did catch an invite to the big league spring training. I think it
Let's go.
starts February 11th. I think is the pitcher report date. So that was a big deal for me this year. Right now we're kind of just wrapping up the strength training and kind of getting into the flow of facing hitters. So I have my first live ABs this coming up week. Just kind of getting used to the hitters being in the box again and getting back into the compete mode. So
Yeah. Do you when it's this time of the year? I was a pitcher a long time ago, man. A long time ago. When it's this time of the year and rolling around, you say you're starting to adjust to hitters and hitters getting in the box against you. Is there anything in particular that you're working on to kind of like to get comfortable with that body in the box? Are you going right-handed ABs, left-handed ABs? Are you just switching it around for visuals? What's kind of the process for that?
my
Hayden got a phone call. We'll pause. We'll pause. And while Hayden's coming back, I'll fill you guys in when he pops back up. But Hayden is the fourth rated prospect in the Diamondbacks organization. So he's got some high hopes going into the spring this year. And it sounds like he's going back in 2 weeks. Once he joins, we'll have him listening to the Baseball Forward podcast with Ross Hawley. Appreciate everybody. I hope everybody's staying warm. It has been a cold last week, man. I'm based out of Dallas, Fort Worth. Lived in the McKinney area, my family and I. And let's see, Hayden's coming back, and there he is.
There you go.
I felt like, hey, Hayden, I felt like Vin Scully right there, man. I was calling the game without you, my man. But hey, that's good. That's for practice. So I was telling the audience how cold it was in McKinney. But anyway, Hayden's back. Let me, and I'm guessing you got a phone call, so that usually happens.
Yeah.
But so this time of year, man, like we go back to you're working with hitters, live ABs. What are you really focused on as those guys start getting in the box on you?
My biggest thing is early is getting my starting points to start my pitches, like my curveball, my slider and stuff, is getting used to throwing it at the hitters to start off and bringing it back into the middle of the plate. That's always my first goal of live ABs. And kind of after getting all my command locked in where I don't feel nervous to throw a pitch at a hitter and hit him with it, I'll kind of lock in on working ahead in the count and really staying healthy and not doing too much early. Like that's a big thing for me too. This is still January, February. So
hey, I was a right-handed pitcher. You're a right-handed pitcher, and I just want to speak the language of baseball. I was a little uncomfortable going arm side in on a right-handed hitter. I felt like I could never fit it in there. Do you work on stuff like that? Like, do you feel comfortable glove side? Do you feel comfortable arm side? Is that stuff that you're working this time of year? And what do you do specifically to work on like location, fastball location?
I do work on that early. I definitely I'll let the hitter know, if, hey, I'm coming inside here,
Yeah.
be heads up just in case it runs in a little too high. But it's just repeating it and repeating it. And if you keep messing it up, just keep trying it. And eventually your body's, you've been throwing a baseball for however long, your body knows how to throw it where it needs to throw it. So,
Yeah. Is there, I'm curious because I love picking brains on guys, like, especially with the prospects where I think sometimes you guys don't realize how good you are. It just comes easy to a lot of the really good high level prospects. So I want to lock in and say, like, is there a mechanical thing that when I talk specifically about fastball location, like glove side or even arm side, is there anything mechanically that you lock in that helps you that maybe might help a young pitcher coming up?
what something I've always went back to, and I've learned since I was probably 8 or 9 years old and started pitching, is my front shoulder staying close for as long as possible. I feel like a lot of times, though, especially throughout the course of a season, it's a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of things will pop up on you, and a lot of things go wrong. That cue might work for me one week, the next week might not work. So it's kind of every day just finding something that you can grab onto and give your best effort with what you got that day. So
Heck yeah, heck yeah. And man, it is mental warfare playing at the level that you're at right now. So I'm curious, how do you when I talk about the mental, the taxing it puts on your mind, the stress, how do you take your mind out of it? Is it I leave it at the ballpark? You have a balanced life? Like, how do you keep yourself calm and in control of your body?
we have a good mental performance team with the D-backs, so they do a real good job of kind of making sure that you have a plan, a routine, or something that you kind of lean on when you leave the field. But I like to do things outside of the field for sure. I like to play golf, find something to do away from the field every day to
Yeah.
keep my mind occupied outside of the baseball field. Because if not, then it overtakes you in everything you do. You go home, you have 5 or 6 hours to kind of lay there,
Mhm.
think about what happened the last night when you might have to show up the next day and turn around and pitch again.
Yep.
So
Yep.
just finding something, video games, golf, basketball, anything is to keep your mind off of it and stay busy.
Let's go. Talking with Hayden Durke of the Arizona Diamondbacks on episode 97 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Hayden, do you I want to know the dynamic. Like, I want more into your mind. Like, when did you find out you were going to big league camp? What was that feeling like getting that called? And then um what are you most excited about just as a kid playing the game? What are you most like? Were you excited when you found out? Tell me about that, and then yeah, just tell me where your mind's at going into this spring training.
Yeah, so we found out right after they got this new dead period. It's the month of December. The team can't reach
Yeah.
out to you unless you reach out first. So
Okay.
I want to say like January 2nd or 3rd, whenever the dead period ended, we got the call and they got the invite sent out, and I was one of them. Um, I was excited. It was something, I've dreamed about since I was young, and knowing that this is just one of the milestones that you have to hit in order to be
Mhm.
a big leaguer one day. It's surreal. It feels like all the hard work's paying off, and
Mm. Heck
it's
yeah.
finally, paying off to be a hard worker from doing everything you've done when you were small and dreamed of doing. So
Are you nervous? Like, are there nerves going through you? Are you just excited to get out there and start working, start competing? What's that feel like for you?
I feel like there's definitely nerves, but I think nerves are a good thing.
Mm.
I try and use them to fuel myself. When you get the invite to the big league camp, it gives you a boost of confidence, and might use that confidence to train harder that next 3 4 week period, give you something to look forward to, and just like always finding new ways to improve throughout the confidence building things that come up like that.
All right. So I want to know, like, with baseball forward, our motto is elevating the next generation. So whenever, our guests, we always talk, it's advice, it's helping the young guys out. So I'll get right into it. man, there's so many baseball players out there that want to be in the position that you're in. If you had to kind of boil it down, like to why you're in the position why you're in the position that you're in right now, what would you attribute, your success to up to this point?
I'd say definitely the sacrifices my family made, the money they spent on me chasing baseball
Mm,
since a very young age. Once I became a freshman in high school, I kind of focused just on baseball.
mhm,
It wasn't very common at my high school at the time. I went to a 3A high school in Abbeville, Louisiana, so it's everybody played every sport. Um, and really, a lot of that has to do with getting lucky too. You can work as hard as you want, but you might not be blessed with the ability to throw a baseball super hard, run very fast, hit the ball far. So a lot of it's luck. A lot of it's just being at the right place at the right time. But at the same time, you have to work hard and be ready for those opportunities when they come. Eat, sleep, dream baseball, dream working out. Everything you can do to be a better athlete, be bigger, stronger, faster. You
mm.
better do it, because if not, you're not doing it. There's other people that are. So
Amen, my friend. And I'll say this, Hayden, dealing with guys that want to play the play in college from high school to college, because you played at Lafayette and then you played at Rice. Uh, so you have the major Division I experience. I always am amazed at if a kid's like, "Yeah, I just want to play college baseball and then I'm good." That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, what I love about baseball, dude, is the hope of what you're doing. It's like
mhm.
this level, this level, this level, this level. What advice do you have for the young guys out there that are out there grinding? Do you have you have some specific advice that you can give for those guys that maybe don't realize what it's all about?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of opportunity no matter where you're at in baseball. I know, like I trained this offseason and threw bullpens with a guy who just got his first pro ball opportunity, or should I say, affiliate ball opportunity at the age of 27. And he took
Wow.
advantage of it and made it all the way up to Double A this year.
Holy cow.
So I know guys who were the highest recruited guys out of high school who got to their first year of college and decided to quit playing because it wasn't for them.
Mm,
It's like, don't feel like you're a late bloomer. I know I do pitching lessons with some kids out in Lafayette area, and that didn't make their high school team as a freshman. And it's harder nowadays because the talent level and the talent pool that you're pulling from, everybody's from such a young age starts focusing directly on a single sport. And he didn't. He kind of waited until the last moment. It's like, at the same time, you don't stop throwing harder. You don't stop getting bigger, stronger, faster until you're 24, 25 years old.
amen.
It might not work now, but it'll work for you in the future if you stay with it.
Oh man, that is just music to my ears. And again, dude, I was telling somebody the other day, I don't think I could go a day without baseball in my life in some way, shape, or form. Because it's just there's always that hope of tomorrow, that hope of tomorrow. Um, do you realize, like, are you in a position right now where, hey, like realistically, I'm sure you've sat down with Schwanke and these guys, but man, you go out and you perform this spring, there's a chance that you're breaking with the big club. Has that set in? Is that a goal? What does that look like? Are you focused on that, or are you just going out and trying to control like your daily stuff?
Yeah, I'd say after this past year of pro ball and seeing how fast things could change, it made me understand like anything is truly possible in a season of baseball at that level. But at the same time, I got the same people in my corner telling me when my time's ready to get called up, and I'm ready to get called up in all ways, physically, mentally, and ready for that situation. It's going to happen. It might be this year at some point. It might be in 3 years down the road, with not letting that affect me in the way that I'm going about things.
When did you realize, Hayden Durke? When did you realize, dang, I love this game. I want to play this at the highest level that I possibly can. Did you have like a moment? Was there a realization? Was there an age or a age range and Hayden is got another phone call. We got to teach these youngsters to silence their calls. They're popular guys, but you know what? I'm going to pull my Vin Scully. But I'll go back to the weather. and say this. My kids are home. It's been miserable in McKinney, Texas the last couple of days, so I'm excited for them to get back to school. There's Mr. Hayden Durke. He's back. I'm practicing. I was practicing my Vin Scully. I kind of like it, Hayden. When he leaves the screen, I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? Put up or shut up, baby. Like I don't need anybody else in the booth with me. So Hayden, I want to know this, man. Like, what's the coolest thing about being a professional baseball player right now that maybe you didn't expect? What's the coolest thing about being a professional baseball player?
Getting to visit all the different cities,
Yeah,
for free. If you think about it, like
that's right.
At 23 years old, most people don't get to travel around and see all the things that we get to see, especially like we'll have off days on road trips or something like that. And go out and see Lake Tahoe, go out to Albuquerque, New Mexico and check out the mountains. There's a bunch of different stuff that we get to experience that we don't have to pay for right now that I try and take advantage of that I'd have to pay for later in life if I wasn't a professional athlete.
That's really good perspective because when you do get older, man, it all costs money. It all costs money.
Yeah.
What's the coolest, like, so far? Give me some spots that you've been that you were surprised by, like, oh man, this is actually like a really nice place. I'm really impressed with this area.
Salt Lake City was pretty fun. I liked Salt Lake City.
Okay.
So I'd never been to that side of the country until this year.
Really?
And it was eye opening.
Okay. What was eye opening? Hey, well, we know. I mean, Salt Lake City. There's the land of the Mormons. They're some of the best people on earth. Was it like a different culture? Was it the beauty of the mountains? What was it about Salt Lake that was just kind of like, wow, this is impressive?
Everywhere I feel like I've ever been, there's always been trees, and I feel like Salt Lake City didn't have any type of trees. If you look straight, you could see 5 or 6 miles without any interruptions with what you're trying to look at. And then the mountain range on the outside kind of surrounding the whole city was pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, I want to get back to the question. How old were you when you realized you were in love with the game of baseball and it was something that you had to do for as long as you could?
Oh, young. I probably 5 years old, 5 years old or so. I was always good at it. I had a lot of satisfaction from practicing and getting better and seeing the results come in the games. And then I want to say by the time I was 9 years old, we were doing it not year round, but very close to year round. At 9, 10 years old with Ben Sheets, who had put together a travel ball team. So he kind of, especially when I got to that age and started playing with him and traveling all over the place, playing the best competition that we could find at that age group, that's kind of when it took a jump. So
I think it's important for young guys to hear that because I know for me, I can tell you, I would say the same thing. Well, you're earlier than I was, but like 5th, 6th grade, I grew up in Colorado. And I remember I grew up on the Air Force Academy, and I remember sitting in the batting cages on the Air Force Academy with I have a twin brother, and my dad was throwing us BP. And I just remember looking up, it's like a cold January day, beautiful. I'm sitting in the cages, it's just the three of us. I'm like, man, I want to do this forever. This game is freaking amazing. Do you, is there stuff about baseball that, because hey, failure is built into this game. And I think it's so important for guys like you and your experiences to let the guys coming up behind you to try to help them understand how important it is to be able to handle failure. When I say failure to you, Hayden Durke, how do you handle failure? What helps you get through it?
I would say just not putting your emotions or like your happiness into results.
Ooh.
Just kind of staying away from the results. I mean, I feel like your job as a baseball player statistically is to be as consistent as you can throughout a year. You're gonna, go through patches where you can't give up a hit, and you're gonna go through patches where you can't throw a strike or get an out. So it's just kind of just staying in the neutral ground, finding, like things that you like to do on a daily basis that are fun to you and beneficial to training and getting better, and just sticking throughout those things.
Is there something with pitching? Because like, I think about if I was a hitter, I think like how I would try to trick my brain and not worrying about my batting average. I would just say, hey, I just want to make hard contact. I don't care what the result is. As a pitcher, similarly, is there something that you focus on that isn't result based that really keeps you on the right path to get the results you want? Does that make sense?
No, it does. I would say their control, they are result based, but they're not uh, detriment. Like you can do these and have success, and you can not do these and have success, and it's throwing strikes is one
Yeah.
that I've figured up on. It's like when you don't throw strikes, sometimes you can get away with it for a few outings at a time, but consistently, if you throw strikes and just control what you can control, your attitude, the way that you attack guys, the way that you show up to the field every day, uh, no matter if you pitch good, pitch bad, what you have going on outside of the field will carry you a lot further than getting into the results.
I can
Throwing
tell.
strike.
I can tell that you're around older dudes and like mentors, like ish type guys. Do you have guys that you rely on and you watch and say, I'm kind of paying attention to how he does things? If so, who and what is it about him that makes them so professional?
So I grew up getting coached by Ben Sheets, and he has a 9-year
Stud.
big league career. So
Yep.
anytime I got any type of question that I feel like is more of a player question and something that a lot of years of experience would have the best answer for, I definitely go to him with it. Uh, Even new draft, I try and keep my mind open to everything. Like there's more than one way to skin a cat. And somebody who just got drafted might have a better slider or fastball than me. I'll sit there and talk to them about it. Or I'll
Yeah.
sit with somebody who has 4 or 5 years in the big leagues and never really struggled and talk to them about something and just get a bunch of different perspectives and then sit there and evaluate, hey, how can I use this and incorporate it into what I'm doing to try and make myself better?
Always learning. Always learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Talking with Hayden Durke on episode 97 of the Baseball Forward podcast. I can tell like your demeanor, you're not a real excitable guy, and that plays a really long way into what you're about ready to dive into and the life you're living. Have you always been like that? Have you always been low key? Is it something you have to internalize that you work on, be intentional with? Because I think there's a lot of guys out there that'll let their emotions go crazy and it affects them as baseball players. How do you keep yourself so calm and even keeled?
I think the way that I was just raised is there's always somebody bigger, badder, stronger,
Yeah,
than you that you're going to run into eventually, especially in sports. You
that's
playing
right.
against guys from overseas that have just been training as hard as you, if not harder. Like, you're always going to get humbled. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Is it well, I want to talk about that. Like always somebody bigger, badder, stronger. Give me some stuff that you've seen where you're like, that's not normal stuff. That's not usual stuff. Is there anybody that kind of comes to mind that sticks out that your own eyeballs have seen and said, dang, that's some good stuff?
yeah, I'd say 19. I believe he was 19 years old with the Seattle Mariners, and it looked like I was telling this kid what I was throwing when he was hitting off of me, and it was batting practice to him. And he was 19. I was 23 at the time. You know what I mean? It's like we're at the same spot. We're at the same level at that age difference. Physically, probably 4 or 5 inches taller than me.
Jeez.
Outweighs me by 50 pounds. Like that's the guys that you got to compete against.
Wow, dude. Hey,
Yeah.
you give me PTSD. I played against Texas in '02 when they won the national championship, and there was a dude on the team called his name was Omar Quintanilla, and he was their 3-hole. And I thought I was, everything that I threw him, he barreled up. Didn't get any hits, but every time he jogged off the field, he and I made eye contact, and he looked at me
Uh,
like, you know that I'm better than you.
uh,
So hey, dude, I get it. Is there? I want to get into the daily life of minor league baseball. Tell us some realities of what it's like to play minor league baseball.
it's a lot of downtime. There's a lot more free time on your hands than you would think,
Really?
especially like in season. Or let's start at spring training. At spring training, you're going around 6:30. You're out of the field by 3 o'clock. From 3 o'clock until the next morning, you have nothing but free time, and you're sitting in a hotel room with not
Oh,
much to do. Like
yeah.
you have a lot of free time, but when it's work time, you definitely working. You're putting a lot of work in. In season, there's a lot of moving parts. A lot of things change on the fly. Uh, it's a lot tougher than you would think to be able to go through 156 baseball games, especially as a
Oh,
relief pitcher. You're not playing in all of them. You know what I mean?
that's
So
right.
you might sit down for 2 days, not touch the field, and on that third day might be the biggest situation or the least important situation that you get thrown out to, but your job's to go get day outs, you know what I mean? Not give up runs.
Do they have you 'cause I remember when I was a relief pitcher too, and it was like every 3 days you were up, every 3 days you were up. Is there like a rhythm that in a role that they have you in at this point that they're grooming you for? Like if I've sat down with the big dogs for the Diamondbacks and I said, hey, what are the plans for Hayden Durke? What would they say? Like what's your role? What do you see yourself? How do you see yourself fitting in at the highest level?
I like to say I'll do everything, and I think their plan with me is to kind of have me as a well-rounded relief pitcher. You know what I mean?
Mm,
If the middle relief guy goes down, they want me to be able to go and throw 3 innings, or if the closer goes down, they want me to be able to go hold it down in the closer spot. I think
mm.
they kind of have that idea with everybody in the minor leagues with the Diamondbacks. It's just all hands on deck, be ready to go at all times.
Man, I like that.
Yeah.
If you don't if you're expecting to play, you're always going to stay ready.
Mhm.
I want to kind of pick your brain on this. For the young guys out there, because when I was a player, um, I wish I would have known my identity as a player and been like, Ross, you've got 2 pitches, you're not going to be a starter. I wish I would have had a better understanding of who I was earlier, and shoulda, woulda,
Mhm.
coulda. I love my life, don't get me wrong, but um, how important is it for a guy like you to know what your role is and know what your identity as a baseball player is on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month, in a season? Like, how important is it for you to know your identity and your role within a baseball team?
I think that's the only thing that'll get you to the top, all the way to the top and playing
Yes.
at the highest level. I think you can have an idea of what you think you need to get better at, but at the end of the day, they got statistics and numbers that will tell you on a piece of paper, this is where you struggle, this is where you need to get better. And if you don't get better in those categories, then you won't see any change in the results. You might feel different, you might think you look different, but at the end of the day, it's like
Mm,
you know what you need to get better at, you know what you are good at, and you need to grind those out and be the best possible version of yourself. Because
mm,
at the end of the day, if you're not a superstar in the big leagues on $100 million deal, you got to find a way to fit into their plan in order to be able to use you to get to where they're trying to go, and find where you fit best in the plan. Like what works for me in high might not have worked in AAA or Double A.
interesting. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's especially from AAA to the big league. What I might find might work for me this year, they might have something totally different planned for me at the big league level. It's just I got to find where I can use my strengths and be beneficial and help them win in order to stay up there. You know.
Yeah, man. Just hearing you say, and this level to this level, then hearing you say big league level. I remember talking with Cameron Rupp, maybe a year ago. I played in the big leagues for, probably 5 or 6 years, something like that. But he said when he got called up, he said the advice that some of the guys gave is that they said, don't look up to the third deck. Do
Mhm.
you feel that coming? Like, is the anticipation of being on a major league field? What does that feel like to you?
I feel excited for it. I don't think I'm nervous for it. I feel like everything that I've gone through in my career so far is going to get me ready for that moment when it comes. So I feel like I'll be physically ready. Mentally, I don't think you'll ever be ready for it. You know what I mean? It's something you've been working for as long as you can remember, since you can dang near walk. You know what I mean? So you're always going to have those jitters, no matter how well you prepare for that. But I'm sure as time goes on, it gets easier and easier to go pitch in front of 30,000 people. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure. Do you have brothers and sisters?
I do have a younger brother. Yeah,
What does he play baseball
he does. He's a senior this year. Yeah,
at Abbeville in Louisiana?
North Vermilion High School.
Oh, North Vermilion. You know what? I
So
read
yeah,
that. Is he going to go on and play college?
he's probably going to give it a shot and see. He had the Tommy John surgery his sophomore year, I believe, in high school, and it kind of leaked into his junior year. So he didn't
Okay.
get to pitch much his junior year, which would have been important for his recruitment stuff.
Yep.
But this year he'll be fully healthy and ready to attack and see what he can get from it. So
What's his name?
Drew Dirk.
Drew. Hey, if I can help Drew with anything, you send him my number. I'm happy to help him with whatever I can help him with. Talking with Hayden Durke on episode 97 of the Baseball Forward podcast today. Talk to me about family, the importance of family. You mentioned it earlier, kind of at the onset. The sacrifices, the importance of family. Like, expand on that. What does family mean to you?
I feel like if you have a good family that supports you in everything you do, they'll be there for you at all times. And it not only in baseball, but in everything you do, you need somebody that's always supporting you. Yeah. And you'll find support through your friends or your coworkers or anybody that you come across along the way. But I feel like nobody wants you to be more successful than them, other than your parents. I think your parents have your best interests at heart. And I feel like you really can't boil down and say that is true with anybody else. No man wants you to be better than they are. You know what I mean? They might support you and hope that you get as good as them, but they wouldn't wish you to be better. Because everything you do, you're competing in everything, your job, you for your family,
How cool. I just think about your brother, Drew, and I'm like, how cool that would be to have an older brother going through what you're going through and how you could learn. And, even if he doesn't follow, the same path that you follow, just the things that you're learning. I want to break that down a little bit. And what playing baseball at the highest level of college baseball, now playing it at the highest level of minor league baseball with the intent of getting to the big league level, like, what are some things that the game of baseball has taught you?
Say you're probably going to fail and get things wrong a lot of the times compared to getting it right and figuring it out fully. I feel like with baseball, you have no idea what's going to come that day. You could feel like you're as prepared as you want and ready for any possible situation that comes up. And when that situation comes up, it always ends up different than what you thought it was going to be.
Fact.
So I feel like you take that saying and apply it to anything, your job, your family, the first house you buy, the first car you buy, you're going to have problems with everything. And it's always going to come when you least expect it and you think you're ready for it, but you won't be.
That's right, dude. And man, it does. It teaches you to be ready for the failure. And you know what? Like, it's crazy, Hayden. I'm 46 years old and I feel like I'm just now grasping, that failing is good. You know why? Because it's learning. And when you learn, you grow, right? So let's talk about, if you were giving advice to, let's say some high school aged pitchers. No. High school age, just baseball players. What advice would you give them, specifically about being a baseball player at your level?
I would say I think I would introduce them to probably two of the guys that I'm closest to on the D-backs, and hop on a phone call and put them on speaker and let those guys tell their story. And I'd tell my story to those kids. And I always was highly recruited. I was always highly ranked in the state. I always had a lot of hype around my name. I was always in front of a lot of scouts and a lot of the best talent. But then you go and you talk to those two guys that I'm best friends with on the Diamondbacks, and it was complete opposite. They were the late bloomers. They didn't have the big college offers. They signed free agent deals to get into pro baseball, and they're the same exact spot that I'm in right now.
Wow.
So I would talk to them, just tell them, like, it doesn't matter where you started, and it's where you finish. And nobody has the same path of one thing works for everybody. Everything is catered to you and specific to you. Everybody's built differently. Everybody's brain works differently. So
that is beautiful advice. Like, honestly, because holy cow, you think about that and you think it's just like this paved path for all the highly touted prospects. And you got two guys that are in the same position you that are free agent signs. Why do you think that those, your two buddies that you mentioned, I want to know their names, but why do you think they're in the position that they're in?
So the two guys, Roman Angelo and Casey Anderson. So
Let's go,
there's
boys.
they're West Coast guys. They were the same draft as me. I think Casey was drafted. Don't quote me on the round, but it was after the 10th round, I believe. And then Roman Angelo was drafted as a free agent. So he signed like a $10,000 signing bonus.
Wow.
Um, I want to say it's just, and I want to say we're friends is because we get along a lot. It's because we think the same way. We're never satisfied with anything that we do. We're always looking for better, which can be a bad thing at times, but I think very beneficial to athletes. Is never being satisfied with where you're at and always wanting to be better. And I think we share that same mindset and apply it into a lot of things. So that's why we get along and we're very tight.
I love hearing that. Are there guys, obviously we're not naming names and we're not being negative, but on the flip side of that, you gravitate to guys that are on the same mission as you. That's what I'm hearing you say.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
is it easy for you at this point of your career to see the guys that don't want the same things as you, and do you stay away from them?
I would say you could pick it out, but I try not to stay away from them. I try and keep a good relationship with everybody. Find something in common with
Let's go.
everybody. You know, I mean, if it's one person I might have in common with golf, you know, they might not care about baseball, but they love golf, so I'll go play golf with them. You know what I mean? And some guys, it's all they care about is working out and watching film, and it's like I'll try and sit there and pick apart some of my film with them and just take what I can from them and make it and implement it into my stuff, or just always try to keep a good relationship with everybody. And because at the end of the day, it's not everybody's going to be in the big leagues, but every day you're gonna have to be around those guys and hang out with them and interact with them on a daily basis. So I try and keep a good standing with everybody and a good relationship.
That is amazing advice too, because I know this just from experience. In my spot, there's no question when I look back at my baseball life, relationships are absolutely the most important thing. And it wasn't even about the game. You know, you look back and you're like, hey, who cares about the game almost? It was the relationships. I love hearing that. Talking with Hayden Durke here on episode 97 of the Baseball Forward podcast. Hayden, about 5 more minutes, man. I really do appreciate your time. You had your workout already today. So I'm curious, when you get your workout in the morning and you get all your work done, like, what do you do with the rest of the day? And I wanted to get into this. You said you play video games. What video games do you play?
I don't play much, but we'll do whatever games the team is into that at that time is kind of what we play. So
I got you.
yeah.
So what do you do the rest of the day? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you spend time with a young lady? Like what do you do with your spare time?
Yeah, no, I do have a girlfriend. She works a full-time job, so she's busy until 5 or 6 o'clock every day.
All right.
For the most part, I usually play golf just about every day. I hit the
Love it.
driving range or go putt, go chip, find somebody to do something with. So
What's your handicap, man?
I got down to a 5.3 this off season, but I think I'm back up to like a 9 right now.
Well, what's the best course you've played?
Oh, probably I want to say it's out in Scottsdale. It was a True North in North Scottsdale. It's probably like the coolest I've seen.
Okay.
And you have the big mountains. You're hitting on top of the mountain into the valley below you and stuff.
Love it,
That was
dude.
definitely the coolest course I've played.
Love it. All right. So the Diamondbacks spring training facility, where is that? Where do you guys work out at?
Right in Scottsdale, and right in smack dab in Scottsdale.
Okay.
So,
And you report on February 11th. Is that correct?
yeah, that's right.
So-
Pitchers and catchers report there.
Wow, that time is coming. It's winding down, my friend.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about coaches that you had, the good ones, and why were they good? How did certain coaches give me some impact that some coaches had on you, and why they had such a positive impact?
I think for me, specifically, what I've liked in coaches and what's worked with me is them not tying you into what everybody else does, and kind of focusing on you as a person, getting to know you as a person, having a personality with you, getting to know what you like, what you don't like. That's not in baseball, like outside of the game and outside of the field. Understanding how you respond to what they may tell you, what they want you to try. Understanding if you're more of a end goal oriented guy or somebody who can sit there and think a lot about numbers. And I've had a lot of success with end goal oriented training. Just thinking about not about how my body's moving while I pitch or like how I'm gripping the ball. It's more about where do I want this pitch to end up? How do I get it there? But the biggest one is coaches who don't treat you differently when you do good or bad. If you're their guy, they don't sit there and kiss up to you. But when you're doing bad, they treat you like just anybody else. I like the guys who even kill all the time.
Yeah.
And have a good attitude no matter, where you're at in standings with the organization and your stat sheet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it goes back to relationships. Is you're a person. It's not just like, hey, what can this guy do for me? That's really cool that you say that. Is there? And I again, I don't want to name names or anything, but I try to help. I want to paint a picture for coaches, for players, people, baseball forward, elevating the next generation. Are there coaches that turned you off? And if so, what were they doing that turned guys like you off, the high level performers off?
I didn't have nobody really ever turn me off exactly, or rub me the wrong way, but I could definitely, I've seen it happen at all levels, high school, college, and pro ball.
Yep.
They want to ride the high hand at the time. And it's at the end of the day, it's everybody's talented. Everybody's got what it takes to be a big leaguer. You can't treat them differently in that moment because they're struggling. And then 2 months down the road, they get, called up twice because they start dominating again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
All right, I'm going to finish with this question. I got a feeling I know the answer. Let's talk about music.
Mm-hmm.
What is your like when you're running out on the field? Were they running out music, walkout music? What's your music? What's the music that's playing when you're coming out of the pen?
So when we were out in Amarillo, they kind of didn't do a good job of the walkout songs for the pitchers.
Okay.
They would always have some type of advertisement going out. And then we got up to Reno, and I tended to pitch towards the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. The 7th, 8th, 9th inning, they always had some type of promo going on the field, some type of promotion to announce with the announcer. But my walkout, I believe, was like Wanted Dead or Alive or something like that by Bon Jovi.
Did you not get to pick it?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
but they never played it, so.
That sucks, dude. Yeah. Hey, get it together, guys. And that sucks, man. Okay, so if when you're in the big leagues and they call your name now Hayden Durke, what song is going to be blasting on that speaker system?
Wait, say that again.
What song when you're in the big leagues and you're running out? Because I'm all the horn stuff. What song is going to be playing when you're running out on a big league field?
I'd say probably some Sammy Kershaw.
Oh, wow.
Probably Sammy Kershaw, Louisiana hot sauce.
No way, dude. Hey, I love it. I can see that. Let's go. You're a country guy, right? You listen to country music, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I listen to all types of music.
So. Yeah. Hey, I've been hot on lately is Zach Bryan. That dude is so good. His music, his lyrics. And I didn't know about him until like Christmas break. I'm sitting there with my kids and my wife and I are just watching some videos on YouTube and I see Zach Bryan. I knew who he was, but I'm impressed with him. Hey, Hayden Durke, man, I appreciate you. I know you're a man of few words and like, I'm telling you, I can't wait to see how this all progresses. Give me 10 or 15 seconds, elevating the next generation. Give us the most motivational nugget of your life before you leave, and then I'll take us out here. Get something motivational to take us out with.
Say, don't look at where you are now. Focus on where you want to be. Surround yourself with those people that you want to be like and that have a positive impact and a positive influence on you. And I'd say don't get too high or too low on yourself. As long as you're trending in the right direction, things will work out how it needs to work out. So,
ladies and gentlemen of the baseball forward audience, Hayden Durke, man. Hey, we're pulling for you, praying for you. Like, go do your thing, man. I can't wait to see you running out on a big league field. So good luck to you this spring, man. Go have a blast. Hayden Durke, right-handed pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks on episode 97 of the Baseball Forward podcast. We'll see you guys soon.